G'day and welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We have got another sensational program for you today. It's the last of the autumn series. Here's what's coming up. We show you how to take the hard work out of your backyard.
There's literally something for every job around the yard.
Mel shares the re-emergence of your local garden centre.
Look, we love gardening and we love helping other people to find that love of gardening.
And we'll show you the best lawn for your backyard. This one, Palmetto, has had people raving about it.
Digging around, dig, 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 dig in the ground. I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
We spend so much time on the show showing you various fruits, herbs and veggies that, well, rightfully so, could be called superfoods. But there's so much more to the story when it comes to healthy plants and healthy fruit. Let me explain. Last year, around this time, I dug this plant, the Yacón, out of my garden in places and harvested and divided the plant. Yacon's incredibly good for you. Its fibre improves gut health and it has a non-soluble sugar in it, which takes sugar out of your system, reducing the amount your body absorbs. And as a result, you lose weight. That's right, you lose weight. Well, you can imagine what happened. People went crazy looking for this plant and many managed to get hold of them and have put them into the gardens. And about now, a year later, they're harvesting tubers just like this. But the story is so much more than these tubers being good for you. You see, with these plants, they have to have goodness in the soil. They have to have minerals and nutrients going into the plant, which is storing it in the tuber. It's vitally important because if it's in there, it's in you when you consume it. So the important thing is to make sure your crops are being fed with a comprehensive plant food. It doesn't matter if they're fruit, vegetables, or even herbs. Much of the goodness you get from them results from the soil being rich in nutrients. Now, the truth is, if you put the goodness into the ground every single time you plant a crop, it will come back and you'll be able to enjoy it as well. It'll end up in you as a result of your diet. If you don't feed your plants, you won't get the nutritional benefits. That's why you see me adding Treforte M before we harvest food. It's the 60 macro and micronutrients in this that boost soil's health and the 24 beneficial soil microbes that improve the soil's overall health and make such a difference to the crops and subsequent nutritional benefits that you get. If you're growing beautiful big citrus and you want them to be juicy and flavoursome, and most importantly, like all vegetables, in fact anything you consume, full of nutrients, micro and macronutrients, then you've got to make sure that you're using the right fertiliser, one that's got at least 60 micro and macronutrients and beneficial microbes in it as well. Makes a world of difference to the health of the plant. Most importantly, because you're consuming the produce, makes a world of difference to your personal health too.
Even though Trevor and I are close to our peak physical fitness, we're not getting any younger, so we're always looking for ways to work smarter, not harder.
Oh, mate, how good are these machines?
Fantastic, mate. We had a couple of these when we were doing Backyard Blitz years ago.
Now, I know you, Scotty and Jamie would have been at your peak of physical fitness back then, but you can't do jobs like that without the right machine.
Well, that's right, mate. We had two machines, one in each arm. Just looking at the Kanga loader with its green and gold livery and kangaroo emblem, you can tell it's Aussie as 100% Australian owned and produced since 1981. They are the original stand-on skid steer loaders and the safest on the market today. In fact, building mini loaders is all Kanga do. So they're totally focused on high quality engineering with no cheap, unreliable imported components. The absolute essential attachment is the 4-in-1 bucket. It helps with a multitude of jobs and is fantastic for cleaning up the yard. Or at least Trevor is. I'm just standing here watching with my cup of tea, and it's a beautiful thing. Now listen, something that's really important when you're using machinery like this around the home, you've got to think of your services, things like power, gas, water. You can get in touch with Dial Before You Dig and they'll have plans of everything around the property, and plus just do some of your own research before you start digging, because if you hit that stuff, trust me, it gets ugly. The Kanga range of attachments is incredible. There is literally something for every job that you can think of around the yard. Some of the more frequently used are the stump grinder, the trench digger, the post hole digger, and the 4-in-1 bucket. Check out their website to see the entire range.
You know, when it comes to business, Kanga makes it easy, right?
Well, it does. Well, it's a business on a trailer.
It is. That's the thing I love about it.
And you know why? Because with a Kanga, you can.
You can.
With a Kanga.
I say cheers to that.
Yeah.
Here's to tomorrow's work.
Hanging baskets are a great way to introduce colour at eye level, both indoors and out. And if you're looking for a splash of unusual colour in the house, then devil's ivy is a really great plant. So this foliage cascades all the way down to the ground when you grow it in a hanging basket and gives the house a really nice jungle feel. So for more great gardening ideas, join us after the break on The Garden Gurus.
When I'm pruning something like the viburnum emerald luster here, I always like to use the shears as opposed to the hedge trimmer because you just get a much more accurate, cleaner cut, which should be made just above the node there, like that, right? If you cut in the internode or in the middle of the branch, you just get that ugly dieback. So the shears are the way to go, and these are absolute crackers. They're the Power Gear 2 by Fiskars. They've got the gears there for 3 times more power on the cut and easier pruning. Then they've got the Ultra Blade coating on the blades here, which means that the blade stays sharper 5 times longer than untreated blades, and you get a really lovely clean cut right through to the tip. They're rust free and they have a lifetime warranty and really nice comfortable handles. Now they're only sold at Bunnings, so that's the place to go if you want to prune with the Power Gear 2 like the master.
When it comes to choosing the right turf for your backyard, doing a little bit of research is vitally important. Now, we first introduced this gorgeous softleaf buffalo over 15 years ago, and since then, it's been getting rave accolades from people who've been using it. Firstly, buffalo grass is pretty much known everywhere else on the planet as St. Augustine's grass. And buffalo grass in other countries is a completely different genus and species. So Googling for advice on how to care for this grass could be extremely dangerous. Now, there are quite a few different varieties of softleaf buffalo available, but this one, Palmetto, has had people raving about it. Now, it was introduced just over 15 years ago in Australia, but since then, over 1.5 million square metres have been laid in WA alone. It's the prettiest of all the buffaloes, with a unique vertical emerald green leaf that holds its colour beautifully through the colder months when many others lose their sheen. It's one of the very best warm season grasses on the market, and it's the best shade tolerant grass you can get. Shade tolerance is a very important consideration when it comes to choosing your lawn. With most of us having big trees around the outside of our gardens, this Palmetto is one of the very best shade tolerant lawns you'll come across. It has excellent coverage and retains a very good density over the top of the soil, even in shady conditions. It loves regular mowing and twice weekly delivers a manicured look that's stunning. Once a week delivers the best lawn in the street, and it loves the feed with a controlled release lawn food as well. Palmetto seems, when cared for well, to have great resistance to pest and disease problems a lot of other lawns suffer from. Now, it does exceptionally well in WA, where conditions can be really hot and dry during the summer months, and it'll get by on just 2 drinks a week of 15 ml. Remember, the lawn has to be established, and if it gets really hot and dry, it doesn't hurt to get out and give it a bit of a hoe so it doesn't dry out completely. Lawns are like us, they need a little bit of water on a regular basis. And if you want some more information about this spectacular grass variety, simply check out this website.
What about this peach here? It's a beautiful example of an espaliering, and they're only about 5 years old, and basically it's a French technique. We've just got some horizontal wires attached to the wall, and then the plant is pruned and shaped and attached to the wires, and this is what you end up with. It's fantastic. They produce really good fruit, and what's good about them is they're not only artistic, but they save a lot of space. The espaliering, it's a French thing, and I love it.
They say gardening is in the blood, and nowhere is that more true than at Yacón's Garden Nurseries, a group of family-run garden centres with a passionate team that live and breathe gardening. The Yacón's story began in 1949 when Antonio Yacón came here to Australia from southern Italy with his wife and 4 children. Now, he was a man with a strong set of values, so he believed in hard work, honesty, passion and a commitment to customer service. And it's those values that are still the foundation of the Yacón's garden nurseries today. Yacón's garden nursery started as a 4-day pop-up plant market in Heatherton in 2000 and has grown to 4 beautiful garden centres. Their vision is to bring back the local garden centre, the friendly neighbourhood nursery that you can rely on, that knows what plants thrive in your area, a place where staff have the time and passion to give you practical advice on your garden. This is the brand new store in Keilor, and manager Peter Gutos lives just around the corner. So when it comes to local gardening, he really knows his stuff.
People come in here and they're overwhelmed by the diversity of the plants, so we're happy to help them and give them some direction of how they can use plants together, and we feel very excited about helping them. It's about sharing knowledge, it's about our communities and growing plants in built-up areas.
It's not only Victoria, the Yacóns are looking to expand their family Australia-wide through franchising opportunities. Tim and Kate Courtney took on the journey just over 12 months ago in the Victorian city of Geelong.
We were new when we moved here, so it's been a really nice thing for us to get involved in the school community and also the other groups in and around the Geelong region. It's been tricky at times, it's been a lot of fun, at times a lot of hard work. I think for us the benefits were that we were able to get into running our own business again, which we wanted to do, but with a good amount of support behind us. Having that sort of backing and knowledge and assistance to get us started was really good. It's certainly a really nice job to have, you know, for our family. It's great to be able to have our family at work. Look, we love gardening and we love helping other people to find that love of gardening.
So next time you're out shopping for some new additions for your garden, make sure you check out your local family-run garden centre for some local advice and inspiration.
Often get asked questions about how do you improve fruit quality. Bigger size fruit, sweeter fruit, juicier fruit. Well, there are some tricks. The first one, of course, is one I've already shared with you today, and that is feeding your plants. If you feed your fruit trees, you do get bigger, plumper fruit. But there's one more trick, pruning. And I don't mean pruning before the fruit is set, I mean pruning now. This is a custard apple. It's a really unusual fruit from South America that gets its name because of the sweet, creamy texture of the flesh inside. It's a hardy tree and grows in most places in Australia, and this giant self-fertile form in my garden is really hitting its straps. The fruit are said to have strong anti-cancer and heart health benefits, as well as being a very good source of vitamin C. And there are many other trace minerals that we need for a healthy body that you'll find in this fruit. Now, this tree has got a huge amount of growth into it, but it's also got a lot of fruit there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prune the tree back, bring the foliage down to where the fruit is. I'm not taking fruit off. That'd be the last thing I want to do. And by taking the foliage off, all the energy comes up, goes into the fruit, and that means bigger, larger fruit, and I'll be harvesting earlier as well. There's a different tool available for every purpose when pruning. And there's this fantastic technology from Fiskars that makes it so much easier. Now, these Power Gear 2s from Fiskars are incredible, and what makes them work so well is this gear-driven mechanism. Now, this applies 3 times the normal pressure on the cutting, and it means you cut through branches just like they're butter. They've also got this beautiful ultra blade coating over the top. Now, this protects the blade from rust and diseases setting in, but it makes sure it cuts smoothly as well. It's terrific technology. For the taller branches, this extendable pruner allows access to 4 metres without needing to climb a ladder, which is very important because most injuries that happen outdoors happen to people falling off ladders. Now, I'm only cutting it back to where the fruit is, so there's a lot of gentle pruning, but occasionally there'll be a slightly larger cut required. Wow, what a job. Now, you might not think this looks as good as it did when it was all full of foliage, but the tree is so much better off for having been pruned back and shaped up. Even better again, now all the fruit are very clear. There's well over 100. They're worth anywhere between $5 and $8 a fruit to buy from the markets. I won't have to worry about that. And each of these fruit, because we've pruned this back, are going to get very large. In fact, 1.2 to 1.5 kilos per fruit. There's more than enough to supply my family and friends. Two things you need to be aware of. Of course, there's lots and lots of foliage that's been cut off. I'm going to put it through the shredder and make a lovely mulch over the surface of the soil, which means the goodness goes back in. And I'm going to give it a feed with this stuff. It's really important. This is Troforte, and of course it's got 60 beneficial micro and macronutrients, which just means the tree will recover from the pruning very quickly. There's nothing better than sun-ripened, homegrown strawberries. And if you've got some plants in the garden, you probably find they're doing this. They're starting to send runners off, just like these guys here. Each one an individual plant that if you break off and plant into the garden beds now, will be producing beautiful fruit like this come springtime. More brilliant gardening advice right after the break. This year at the Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show, I'm sharing the secrets to gardening success. So there's so many things that we've learnt about plant health over the years. In the old days, it used to be about those three core elements. Do you know what they are? They're nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. And all plants need them to grow. But what we do know now is that plants are so much more complex and that they're so much healthier if we've got a healthy soil rich in a complex blend of nutrients, which is exactly what the ultimate goal for any good garden has to be. There's no better example of a product that works but has no mineral nutrient value than sea salt. This is made through a brewing process using kelp, which is giant bull kelp being the main base, which has been collected from the shores of King Island off Bass Strait. Seaweed does something unlike anything else. What happens is when you apply this to soil, it stimulates the soil microbial activity. It builds up their resistance to pest attacks and to disease. It makes the actual stems of the plant stronger. And in actual fact, when sprayed over, the foliage has been proven to actually reduce the amount of damage that would normally occur and stimulate the plant through those difficult times. And in hot, dry conditions, it reduces the amount of water that plants require to survive. So this stuff, this sea salt, it's pretty remarkable.
I've come over to see my mate Jason, who lives in the suburbs here in beautiful, sunny Perth. He loves his garden and takes great pride in it. And I've brought something with me. I've got him a present that'll help make this area look that little bit more special. First job is to pull up these pavers to create a narrow garden bed. Wherever you've got a lawn and garden bed meeting like this, some form of edging makes maintenance easier and helps give definition. This is a steel edging. It's got a beautiful, earthy, rusty patina that's much in vogue in landscaping at the moment, and it's easy to install. OxyShield is made from durable, long-lasting steel similar to stainless. The rust look develops over time and is intentional, of course, and only on the surface, oxidising to form a protective coating resistant to corrosion and flaking. If you're wondering how the edging joins together, it's a simple but effective system. You just line up these lugs on one side with the holes of the other, bend them over with the screwdriver, job's done. I don't know about you, but this fence here looks a bit tired and a little bit nasty to me. Now, the OxyShield panels are perfect for this situation. They've got these really cool laser-cut designs, and they can be hung on a fence or a wall or on a frame like this that Jason's knocked together for me, and it's simple, just like hanging a picture. I'm going to put in some screws, lined up with the holes, and on she goes. I'm going to do 3 as well. To complete the picture and finish off the makeover here at Jason's place, we've put in these tree ring podiums. Just over here, I've basically used it as a facade around an existing pot with the mango, but here, used it as an actual planter, filled it with soil, planted the lamandras, given it some mulch, and washka! Have a look at that. I love it. Sensational.
The Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show isn't just about show gardens and landscapes. It's very much about new and interesting plants just like these. If you love cherries, and there's nothing better than fresh cherries, you might want to check these ones out from PlantNet. They're a new range of dwarf varieties, but they're still your old favourites. Lapin, Sir Don, Morello, and the beautiful Stella. They taste fantastic, but these trees are really compact. They only grow to 2.5 metres in height and have a similar width when mature, but produce full-size plump cherries. This makes them ideal for large tubs or small gardens, and it makes picking so much easier than the usual 5 to 7 metre high trees that they'd normally grow into. That makes them ideal for the average backyard. Imagine them lining a path to your front door and in flower. Now, best of all, these gorgeous dwarf trees are self-fertile, which means you only need one to produce beautiful fruit at home. Now, they are available as bare-rooted trees in Victoria this June, but they're not available in South Australia and WA just yet. If you want some more information about these wonderful dwarf cherry trees, simply check out our website. Well, that's it for the autumn series of the Garden Gurus. We hope that you enjoyed it. Now, the good news is Mel, Nige and I are back in the spring.
Trev, I'm already back.
And we're going to have a fantastic series for you. We'll see you then. I love your work, Nige.